What is up, guys, and welcome back to the channel. Well, since I've been back from Daytona, I have made a few changes to the bike to get it ready for the rest of the year. And first thing you might notice is there's no tour pack on the back of the bike. That is because it is actually sitting over there. And if you want to know why I took it off the bike, stay tuned for that, because I'll tell you why I did so. There's a few reasons, but I'm rocking a new luggage rack from Hogwarts. So far, I am impressed with it. I haven't taken it on a trip yet and loaded it down, but it completes the look. It's a lower profile now and just sleek. So, and it's black. I was happy they had one in black to match the bike. So far, that is the first thing I've done. The second thing is new levers from Flow Moto. I am happy with these levers. I've only been rocking them for about a week now, but I really am impressed. They're thinner than stock levers, and I have less pull that I have to pull this lever in. So that's a huge plus to me. And if you can't tell, I can adjust it. That's what this little dial's for. So no matter what pair of gloves, if I'm wearing thick gloves, thin gloves, I can adjust these levers to where I want them. But if you have any doubt about getting Flow Moto levers, because yeah, they're not cheap, but they're high quality levers. And that's one thing I really like about them, and they're breakaway. So if I was to drop the bike, they'll fold in and not snap. So that is a great plus. Highly recommend them. Even though I've been rocking them for about a week now, they are just amazing levers. So that is the two upgrades I have done to the bike so far, and I'm actually in the midst of finishing the bike out, because if you can't tell, I'm missing a saddlebag over here. So you're wondering, why am I missing a saddlebag? Well, that's because I am putting the docking hardware on to put my sissy bar. So I'm actually in the midst of that. I'm going to show you how to do that. It's real straightforward. All you need is this bracket here on both sides, the little docking pieces, and then the sissy bar will just come on and off. Well, when you want it to, not that it needs to actually just fall off on its own. So that's not a good thing to happen, definitely if you got a passenger. But you want to make sure it's secure. Now, I did not go name brand with the sissy bar. I actually got it off Amazon, which I'll leave the link in the description below, but it seems good quality, real good welds on it, and doing some welding in my life, I could see that they were good welds, and that's one thing I look for. Definitely if I'm buying something that's not name brand, that is going to be a crucial part. But I'm going to get to it and show you how to do this on the other side. So let's go. So the process is going to be straightforward, simple, exactly the same no matter if you're working on left side, right side. There's only going to be a slight difference. Is on that back bracket, you have one that fits for the left side and one fits the right side. But you'll be able to tell in a few minutes which one goes in each side. But the first thing you want to do is actually remove the saddlebags, and if you have any lights and connectors on your saddlebags, make sure to disconnect those before taking your saddlebag off. If you have filler panels, I would highly recommend remove them. It's just going to make the process a lot easier. With a 7/16 wrench, go ahead and remove the bracket that holds the saddlebag to the bike. Now moving along, we can actually remove the top two bolts of that rail with a T45. This is where that rear bracket is going to go for that sissy bar. This is where I said you'll know which side the brackets go on, for the piece will be bent away from the bike and sit flush on that rail. All the hardware was provided with a sissy bar. I just reused the stock hardware with blue Loctite for the bracket and a shorter bolt for the docking point. I just felt like it was way too long and so close to the rear fender. I just didn't feel it was necessary to use that bolt, so I went shorter on it. Using a Phillips head screwdriver, we can remove that stock bolt. This is actually the only place I used a bolt from the kit to install the front docking hardware. You actually want the flat side of that docking hardware to be facing the shock. Now that you have all the docking hardware installed, it's time to check the fitment, and if the sissy bar goes on right and it lines up correctly, then you can put the bike back, and it's the exact same way, just backwards of how you took it apart. Well, there you have it, sissy bar installed, so if the wife wants to ride with me now, she can. I'm just not one to put a passenger on the back without a sissy bar. I know there's guys out there that will do it, but I don't want to take the chance of a passenger falling off with me. Now, I know you're wondering about this big black bag that's now sitting on the back of the bike. Well, this is the huge reason why I took the tour pack off and it's sitting over there. If you saw in some of my last videos, it was on my back seat. Well, with that wraparound backrest, I couldn't pack the bag like I wanted to. This bag is fully packed out with all my chem stuff, and it still has room in it, if you can't tell. So I could actually pack more stuff in this bag with using the Hogworks luggage rack. But you're probably wondering why I didn't just put it on that luggage rack that's on the tour pack. Well, I felt like this bag was way too heavy to put up there, and it'd be more in the wind than where it's at now. And I didn't want to break the lid on the tour pack, because if this bag is way too heavy to be up there, it could break it. And that's something I did not want to take the chance with. And I'm liking the look of more of that Street Glide look. So now it's basically a full Street Glide, because it doesn't have the driving lights anymore. It don't have the tour pack. It's basically a full Street Glide. So between the look and functionality, that is a huge reason why I went with the luggage rack and away from the tour pack. Now, I'm loving the full setup for the rest of the year. I'll give you more of my thoughts once I actually go on a few trips like this. But I think it's time to get on the bike and go for a ride and tell you how I like the new levers a little bit more. So, let's go. Well, it's taken me a little bit of time to get used to the new setup. One is getting used to the friction zone, because going from one finger levers to the Flow Moto, I don't have to pull the lever in as far, which to me is great, because then it's more on and off, which I like. That way I don't have as long of a pull and having that in between friction zone. The other is I can tell a difference in the weight in the rear end, because I've been riding with a tour pack for over a year now, so I got used to that weight. Especially around town doing slow maneuvers, it felt like it'd actually make the front end a little bit lighter. And now not having that weight, the front end feels like it kind of dives in a little bit more. So it's just getting used to those two things. Because one of my trips coming up, going to Tennessee, riding Teledragon, I need to be used to the bike and comfortable. I don't want to take it up there and not be familiar with the bike. That's one reason I'm out here riding it, getting used to it. I'm actually on my way to see a covered bridge, go ride, get some photos, just have a good time. Plus the weather's just great. This next few days is supposed to be crappy weather. Even though I took the tour pack off, I really don't feel like I lost any room on the bike, because when I put that big black bag on it, I still have room in it that you can see, and it actually made me think about what I was going to take with me even around town, because all my camera equipment I downsized on it. A lot of it stays on my handlebars, but I got some smaller bags to where I can organize it more in my saddlebags. And a lot of the time, like with the tour pack, I was just throwing bottles in there, just auditing miscellaneous things. So I really didn't feel like I still needed the torque pack as much. But I'm gonna hurry up and get to the destination I'm headed to, and I'll show you guys more around there. So let's go. So we made it to our destination, easily covered bridge. I was gonna go to Horton, which is just up the road, but that one's actually closed right now. It's got some rocks in front of it where you can't drive across it. This one you still can, and there's some beautiful scenery, and it's quiet all around here. It has a little creek down here. Now you can't really get down to it. I mean, you could walk down there, but there's no stairs. At the Horton one, they actually have some stairs that you can actually get closer to the water. But I just love coming to places like this. The road to get here was a little bumpy. Had to take it kind of slow, getting used to that new clutch lever. But that's the way you get used to it. Ride it, go down roads. You know, if you just go interstate, you're not really using the clutch that much except to go through gears. But I need to get used to that new lever and where the friction zone is. So what other better way to do it? I just love how quiet it is out here. You don't have cars just constantly coming through here. So I can sit here, relax, and just enjoy myself, take in the scenery. And I'll show you the one other thing I haven't shown you guys yet that I did to the bike. And I want to get you guys' opinion on it. If you can tell, when I get closer, you might be able to tell what I did. But I actually ended up chopping my rear fender off a little bit. Reason being is if you have an older bike, they had that little bit of a trim piece that had a little light in it. Well, you couldn't really remove it without having a bunch of holes in the rear fender, which I still got to clean up a little bit right here. But I think it looks great having that little bit of a chopped fender on there. Shows a little bit more of the tire. It just gives it that unique look, in my opinion. But I want to know what you guys think about it. So leave in the comments down below what you think. But I hope you guys have a good one. I'll see you guys next time.